Hi guys, thank you so much for coming back to my podcast number 5 called Consider the Source and How to Deal Properly with Hate and Hurt. On my right side, I got my friend Marshall. He was the best linebacker I've ever played beside all through high school, 100%. On the left, I have Coach Ballard, who's my coach in high school. He is a mentor, he is a teacher, and what do you do now exactly?
So I am the CEO of the Taylor Bell Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization here in Northeast Florida.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I wanted to bring these two amazing people on, and I know how it looks. I'm actually gonna call it out right now. It looks weird after being called racist that I bring two of my black friends on a podcast. I know exactly how that could look. But honestly, I just wanted to call it out and say that's not the case. What I wanted to bring these people on because I trust them with my life, and I know I could trust them with this topic especially. So really, the whole backstory of why I wanted to do this podcast was because if you didn't know, I was on a party bus with a girl named Tara, and a month later after the whole party bus scenario happened, she called out the girls for saying the N-word in a derogatory way, and I came out on my own and said I was singing in a song lyrics. They had nothing to do with it, and then from then on I got called racist, I got death threats, and yeah, it's tough. Trying to kill me? Yeah, exactly. It's tough, and I really wanted to bring this to the surface and pretty much say that is not true. And how do you deal with that very thing? How do you deal with hate, especially in the world we live in called quote-unquote cancel culture? And I really want to start out with this whole thing by saying life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. How we react in the first few seconds is when we hear something that immediately offends us or affects us, we want to react immediately. But we need to take a breath, pause, and literally the old saying, think before you speak. What I got from me being called a racist and all this other thing, and I have claiming that I have hate in my heart, I got 3 initial responses. I got that y'all want to kill me, y'all want to cancel me, or just people shrug their shoulders and say, it doesn't matter, you're good. And honestly, all 3 of those are the complete wrong answer, and y'all could agree. Honestly, that's the wrong answer, because it's not something in the sense that people aren't offended, because some people were offended. Mm-hmm. And kill me, not just physically but mentally with hateful words, and cancel me. Because apparently as an influencer nowadays, or as anybody, if you make a mistake, you're gone.
Oh yeah.
It's the world we live in that is telling us to go against human nature and say, don't be human, don't make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you're out of here. And that's just the complete opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. I feel like if people knew who I was, then people would understand that when I was singing those song lyrics, there was no hate in my heart. I'm not gonna let me explain who I am, because I could tell you who I am all day, but I'll let these two amazing people kind of explain their relationships with me and who I am and where all of this is coming from.
Speaking of that, tell them how we met.
Me and McKee's first day meeting each other, we had a 7-on-7 tournament at, what high school was it?
I think it was Jackson.
I think it was Jackson. Yeah, it was at Jackson. And McKee came in. It was a transfer from Trinity. And I'm thinking, all right, I got a new linebacker. I said, let's see what he does. Dude had like 6 interceptions. I was like, this dude's play DB. I don't think he's play linebacker. That was our first day meet. We just immediately clicked. We had that chemistry at backer that just know how to run, read, and just read our keys and drop back into coverage and just trust each other to make a play if one of us missed. Good old days, really. Just good times, honestly. That was
it's a saying back in high school. Our coach, one of my defense coordinators, used to say, whenever you see 9, you see 34. I was 9, he was 34. Yeah. We always rode together, so that's my brother. So just in case y'all ain't know, you kill him, you gotta kill me too. So yeah, we go way back.
Do you thinking about it? You reminiscing?
I'm reminiscing, honestly. Yeah.
We got some stories to tell.
We got some stories.
Those years of y'all in high school was phenomenal. Like I mean, it was some days where I was like, ooh, this is a great feeling to coach you guys, to be a mentor of you guys, to just being in y'all life. Like it was an amazing time. And I wish that if everything was done over, if they can consider the source, it changes the atmosphere of where you go after you hear that response or you hear the conversation. So for me, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it.
Yeah.
And I know you discussed that earlier, but that's true. You know, how do you react to someone coming after you? Coming after your character, coming after they're attacking your character. You know, how do you react to all those things? And for me, you know, being the person I am to you, just being able to have those conversations and then think about what you need to say, but how do you react to it? So you're the person that I wish more young men would be like. The young men that I mentor are great, but they all have challenges. They all go through things. And I know they wouldn't respond the way you've responded by doing this. And then also by coming to the video, you know, just responding to a situation that no one said your name, but you're that type of person. You're that young man that I am going to stand up and say what's right, even though I know I probably have done something that was out of their character or whatever. That's what makes me really happy about mentoring you, talking to you, being in your life. You're that kid. And I understand that, you know, sometimes in the social media world, you guys have people that's going to say stuff that don't know you.
The whole consider the source thing, bringing that back to that party bus, and a lot of people had a problem with my apology and said, oh, well, he's been saying it for years. He's been saying it back home and in the locker room and with his friends. I went to First Coast High School. I went to Ocean Middle School. Really, what I never had was I never really had a silver spoon in my mouth. And when I said that word in a song, there was no hate in my heart, but instead that word to me was a word of acceptance. Like if I was allowed to say that word, then it meant that I was a part of a brotherhood. A lot of people got upset, and that was where I was in the wrong by being too comfortable saying that word in a song that I thought everybody knew me how people know me back home or how y'all knew me personally. And that was where it was insensitive of me not being sensitive and being too comfortable. And that's where we have to watch what we say and watch and literally pretend that we have a camera on us 24/7, like we're a part of our own reality TV show. I even talked to Parker asking what goes on in the locker room, and I remember there was fights in the locker room. Y'all know deal. Y'all no clue about what happened in the locker room was our deal. I mean, we were shout out to Farmer and Gil, but we were the council.
Dungeon.
We had the dungeon. We had the shower room. When people would piss us off in a certain way, or they would. Like Rabbit, like when he hit a girl at school, we made him roll, and then we took him to the shower. We
drug
him up,
drug him into the shower, turn the shower
on, and held him down to the water. That was just
And that brotherhood is unmatched. Like, and everyone knows football is a sport of brotherhood. You know, other sports are too, and you know, shout out to those sports, but football is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you guys, I think the best thing about having you guys as leaders, and that's what you were, and you are today. But that's what was so great about mentoring you guys is that your leadership in the locker room, the way you guys handle stuff, we didn't have to worry about going to the locker room. You want to have the leadership come from you guys, and I know that brings a whole nother level of brotherhood too.
It does.
Yeah, that friendship is deep.
Me and Cole and I, we got real tight. It was like halfway through our sophomore year. At the beginning, we were just like backers. I was like, oh yeah, all right. You played backer next to me. I was like, okay. Mid-season, we played, I think it was Atlantic Coast. Atlantic Coast. That's the game. I think at first Cole was playing outside, I was playing inside. That game, Coach Parker switched us both inside backers. And I just remember reading guards and filling gaps. Like I remember doing my job, going down the line, hitting the guard, and looking back and seeing Cole making a play in the backfield. I'm like, you know what? I'll go to war about this ball right now. Like that right there set it in stone. So throughout the years, junior year, senior year, we got a lot of memories, man. We can talk about that all day.
Dude, good time.
Going through it.
I love seeing the light that comes from you two. Just knowing you guys from high school all the way to now being adults. You know, you're gonna have families and all of that. But just seeing the light that y'all talk about having that friendship together, having that camaraderie, and it's gonna go with you forever. Like y'all gonna be at each other's baby showers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how they do that now. Like the guys come to the baby showers, whatever, but like that's gonna be something that's you gonna remember forever.
That's part of just growing up. Like high school, we had to see each other every year. We were at school, but once we got to college, we split ways. You know, you in Kansas, I'm in Virginia. It's like sometimes you're busy, but you still know we brothers. We handling our business.
You check on each other and everything.
Always checking on each other.
Always checking on each other. Like when you hit me up, it's like, hey, bro, I'm there. I'm there. No doubt about it.
We're gonna have a little uncomfortable talk real fast. But when a white person says, "Oh no, it's okay, I have black friends," that's not. Yeah, it's exactly. It's not an excuse to be like, "Oh, I could say it." It's because between, especially me and McKee and that thing, that is our terminology. That's like the language that we use. It's too comfortable, and that was my mistake. Was when I got too comfortable, especially saying that word. And I'm gonna be honest, if I was singing in the locker room and I bleeped out that word around all my friends and all my brothers on the team, I feel like they would look at me funny. Like I would be
we'd be like, hey bro, you know you one of us. We see you as the same. So.
Exactly. I know a lot of people take that as when people say, "Oh, I'm colorblind, I don't see color," as kind of an insult, but it's facts, because especially on the football field, I don't see you as a black dude or a white dude. I see you as a person, and I see you as a person who I hold valuable, especially to my heart, that I could trust on the other side of the ball. Football is literally said, we're going to war, and I'm going to war with my brother, and if he dies, I die. If he lays down, I lay down. And that's literally where it all came from. And
sometimes I feel like too, we're either in the world, and even in America today, we're either too sensitive, or we're too comfortable. And just having that middle ground, you have to be careful of how you say things and tiptoe. But like when you're around family, you're around friends, like you can let your hair down, you can relax, you can just chill, you can just be who you are. And I think sometimes when you're, out and you're having fun and you're partying, you feel like, okay, this is my friends, or these are people I can be comfortable with. And then you get in that comfortability mode like you are with us. And for us, it's not an issue, but for some others, it was too sensitive. Whereas to you've never sung a song, you've never had that moment or whatever. Like, okay,
maybe it's just the fact that a lot of white people have not experienced that comfortability with colored people, with black people in their lifetime.
In their lifetime,
like Cole's been around black people his entire life. Like, literally, he thought his dad's best friend is also bodylifter was his uncle. 5, 6 years in his life.
And he's definitely African American. And you know what I'm saying? You thought that was your uncle the whole time.
I real deal. And for people who don't know, he used to travel with my dad. His name was Kenneth Etta. And he actually lived with us for multiple years of my life. And I legitimately thought that he was a part of I thought he was my uncle. Like, legitimately thought he was my family, like, by blood. And that's just who I grew up, especially growing up in Jacksonville, Florida. I literally, when I say, oh, I'm from Florida, I thought people automatically knew where I grew up in, or where I grew up around, and who I grew up with, and who I looked at as family. Not as in, I have a hate in my heart out. Like, nah, bro, like really? It's not at all how it is down here.
We're from the South. We've seen racism. We know what
100%.
We know what hate is. It's like, yo, this is not hate to us. I mean, it's like you a little too comfortable, maybe. That's what he said. But we just gotta let them know that,
Like, people from the South are different. Oh, we're completely different. Like, but in the best of ways. For sure.
And I think it's good for you just stating all of that too, because America today, you have to learn to, one, get to know people first. And then work with them, and then understand where they come from, because your way of doing business may be a different way of doing business from us, just based on how we were raised. But then now some people learning about you are understanding, oh, I grew up like that too. So maybe my thought of thinking or different things that I say are just like Cole's, and so I had a childhood friend. He stayed across the street from me, and we used to play all day and go out and do stuff. And he would respond differently at home than I would with my parents, because my parents were a little different. So I thought sometimes, like, dang, what if I could do that? But I would see my mom or my dad do something crazy, and I'm like, no, I ain't gonna try it, right? And then he would say words like that when he's rapping music and things like that, or do stuff. And then we would go to the park, and I'll say, hey, remember, we are at this park with these people.
Not everybody's
going to respond differently. Everybody's going to respond differently with it, right? And so, he would say words and things like that, and they'll know, oh, okay, he's from where you from, so he's cool, he good. So I understand, where the mindset is.
Yeah.
But then, sometimes, like I said before, you can be a little too sensitive sometimes.
So I think sometimes when you've been offended and like you're already sensitive to certain topics, at that point you're just looking for hate. Like you're going around life looking for something to trigger you, and then at that point you're just spewing that hate to everybody else, which is
100%. And I learned that I have to be a lot more sensitive. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was reading all these comments and people were coming after me and calling me racist, and then coming after my sister and my friends in the house who didn't do anything wrong, and then coming after my parents, it pissed me off. I wanted to respond and be like, you don't know me, blah blah blah, like come say that to my face, but then I realized I gotta consider the source and understand that my words hurt people. And where they were coming from was a place of hurt, and I needed to calm down, breathe, and just not respond at all. It was I hurt them in the long run. I personally have no clue what it's like to be a black person and a black man, especially in this world we live in today. And I didn't realize my privilege until me and my mom were running through. I was about to go back to school, so I was training, I was trying to get my cardio up, and me and my mom were running through the neighborhood like jogging. And this was like 3 days after the Ahmaud Arbery thing about him getting hunted down, especially in the neighborhood, running through, and a police car drove by and he didn't even pump his brakes. He just drove right past us. And me and my mom probably jogged like 10 more feet and stopped and realized that would have went a whole lot different if we were black, especially running through a neighborhood at 1:30 in the morning. Like
that's amazing, man. Just being able to have that moment, especially with your mom, like just have that moment, given a certain time period of what's going on, and just being able to empathize and put yourselves in other people's shoes. I mean, like, even for me, like, I've been times where, like, I remember we went to the beach one time to work out. And I was following you. You just called me on the phone. You're like, hey, man, it's a cop tailgating you. And I don't trust him. I feel uncomfortable for my sake. Like, you remember this, right?
I remember that,
You told me, I feel uncomfortable for your sake.
Yeah.
You're like, man, let's take this exit, pull over at this gas station and see if he follows us or whatever. We pulled over, he kept going. I was like, see, man, that's my brother right there, looking out for me.
Absolutely, man.
Times like that just create room of improvement, just having that talk and having that availability to move forward as a people as a whole.
Absolutely. Really, and have these conversations where we could empathize and learn from each other.
I've seen all different races go harder than some African Americans. And so, like you said, there is a fight for all of us to fight. And I think that sometimes with some of this that's going on today with you is some people are looking for hate. They're looking for trouble.
100%. Hurting people hurt people.
Oh, listen, hurt people. And and those people who are hurting are definitely going to want to hurt some others. And I don't understand how you could make that into a career. How you could just go around hurting people. Like, how do you sleep? At night.
How do you do a podcast trashing other people?
I don't understand.
That goes into how do we cancel culture, and I'm actually going to ask your opinion. How do we do this very thing?
I will have to say we start with the conversation.
Yeah.
We start with education. Some people, and you said it today. You've learned from this whole experience that you have to understand the words that we allow around with the conversation of being comfortable and having family, and we know you and we love you. We allow it, and as a people, we allow certain things that sometimes is not right, and then so we got to have that conversation, and then we have to discuss as a people, completely as a people. Do we want to get grace, but not give it? That's the conversation we gotta have, because there are gonna be mistakes. There are gonna be people that say stuff that maybe hurt our feelings, and have that conversation. Be adult enough to talk about it, to discuss it and not just throw that person underneath the bus.
Yeah.
The best thing about what we're doing as a people in America today is we're having these conversations now.
Yeah.
When before there is no conversation. Yeah. Some people may not agree with everything right now, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay if you are not comfortable with these conversations.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have to be comfortable.
It's a process.
It's a process. It's gonna take time. And we're just here to have these conversations. Let's start getting this stuff out in the open and let's start addressing it.
Absolutely.
100%. You want to change something in a big way, you gotta make big changes, all right?
Facts.
So for cancel culture, I think it's just having to talk, like getting a meeting ground or whatever. Whoever you're trying to cancel, whatever, I don't really see the purpose of it. But I mean, somebody offended you in some type of way, right? Or they did something you may not have liked. It's like sometimes some people will come from hate and do things from hate. But this ain't one of them cases. This is something where like somebody got too comfortable doing something. It's not a case of hate. So, but if it were a case of hate, then it's like, all right, how do we approach this? What do we do? I think it's just having a conversation of how to move forward is the most important part.
We got to get better, not bitter. Even good people are great at making bad decisions. Again, you got to give out grace, because I know for a fact if you made the same mistake, you would want that grace shown back to you if you give it out. That's a lot that we covered, and I'm glad that I could have y'all on here and we could cover this talk and honestly just catch up, especially behind the camera. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. We need more of these. 100%. We gotta get more of these. We gotta get more of these. We need to do a football one. Just talk about old stories that happened. That would be amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
How long was that podcast?
Yeah, that would be probably 3 hours. Yeah. Guys, and if you're still watching, I want to have Coach Ballard plug his foundation, guys, and we want to bless this foundation and take it away.
The Taylor Bell Foundation, we work with youth around the Northeast Florida area. We help with scholarships, educate them on learning the process of getting to college, earning scholarship money while they're there and staying 4 years or graduating from college. We also host summer camps where we teach kids the fundamentals of sports. We have fun. That's the main thing that we do, is we have fun. And we start from ages 5 all the way through 14, and then from the 14 through 18 is where we do the young adult portion of helping them go to college and earn scholarship money.
Guys, and the website will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Join us next week on our podcast for podcast 6. I don't know what it's going to be about, but keep posted on my Instagram story. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on the post notifications to get a notification for the next video. Thank y'all so much for joining. I love y'all. Deuces. Yeah. All right, let's do a little just pose, because I'm gonna screenshot it and that'll be like the thumbnail. Yeah.
What's your signs you're doing here?
I just did like this. I just did this. What
is that?
We gotta be careful.
What is that?
I always do this with my fingers.
How do we know that that's not a gang sign?
I'm pointing at you.
I'll just do
a normal one and then do a funny one, because we can do both of them. Because you can put,
I'm not gonna smile at you though.
He don't smile.
He don't smile in the pictures. No, he never smiles.
You gotta catch him laughing. You gotta catch him laughing, bro. Let me stop.
Alright, yeah, let's pose. Alright. Perfect.
Listen,
perfect.
Y'all had me crying because I remember when I had to clear the field.
Coach Parker.
Y'all were going all the way down the field. I'm thinking, why are they